Welcome to On the Air with Gloria Haas, the Interdimensional Intuitive, and thank you for being here. Before we get started, I would like to thank our sponsors. Please check out the affiliate links in the description. The views and opinions expressed in this show or comments on this channel are those of the guests, sponsors, or authors and do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this show or channel's broadcaster. All information, content, and material of this show or channel is for informational and entertainment purposes only and are not intended to serve as a substitute for consultation, diagnosis, and/or medical treatment of a qualified physician or healthcare provider. Also, the content is not intended to be treated as legal advice, nor is any attorney-client relationship created therein. All material in this show, video or audio, is the intellectual property of Gloria Haas. Books, images, or other suggested media is used by permission or endorsement through Gloria Haas by the guests, speakers, or sponsors of the show. This video and audio were produced in its whole by Gloria Haas and is intellectual property of her. Any unauthorized use, partial or as a whole, is strictly prohibited. Thank you for joining us. And on this episode, this will be part one of detailed ghost hauntings and folklore in Alabama, and Ophelia will be joining me from here on out in these episodes. In Alabama, the Sloss Furnaces, located in Birmingham. The Sloss Furnaces opened in 1882, was a pig iron producing facility critical to Birmingham's industrial rise. Harsh working conditions led to numerous worker deaths, with over 47 fatalities recorded between 1900 and 1906. The most infamous figure is Foreman James Slag Wormwood, who reportedly died in 1906 after being pushed into a furnace by overworked employees. The haunting. Wormwood's ghost is said to haunt the site, seeking revenge. Workers and visitors report seeing a burnt figure or hearing commands barked in an old-fashioned tone. Night watchmen have reported being pushed or feeling intense heat in cold areas. The site's dark history, including accidents and labor abuses, fuel its reputation as Alabama's most haunted location. The activity has been shadowy figures with charred skin, disembodied voices shouting orders, physical sensations of being pushed or touched, unexplained heat spikes, and orbs in photographs. Now a National Historic Landmark, hosting tours and events like the Sloss Fright Furnace, it's a focal point for paranormal investigators and featured in shows like Ghost Adventures. Then in Tuscaloosa, we have the Drish House. It was built in 1837 by Dr. John R. Drish, a wealthy physician. This Greek rival mansion was a social hub. Dr. Drish died in 1867 after falling down the grand staircase while intoxicated. His wife Sarah obsessed over his funeral, preserving the candles for her own, but they were not used when she died in 1884, sparking her restless spirit. Sarah's ghost is the primary specter featured in 13 Alabama Ghosts and Jeffrey as deathlights in the tower. She's believed to be angry over her funeral arrangements. The tower, added later, is a hot spot for sightings of ghostly flames or lights, possibly tied to a fire Sarah feared. Phantom fires in the tower. There are no actual flames. They are glowing lights, with Sarah's apparition in a white dress, footsteps, and doors slamming. Visitors report cold spots and unease near the staircase. The mansion's tragic history and architectural grandeur make it a staple of Alabama ghost tours. It's now used for events but retains its eerie reputation. Then we have the old Cahoba architectural site in Dallas County. This is not easy to pronounce. Cahawba was Alabama's first state capital from 1820 to 1825, before flooding and economic decline turned it into a ghost town. It served as a Civil War prison, Castle Morgan, and has multiple cemeteries, including those for enslaved people and Confederate soldiers. The most famous tale is Pegus, Pegus, ghost, and orbs seen in the garden of Colonel Christopher Claudius Pegus' home after his 1862 death. Other spirits include freed slaves and prisoners. The site's isolation amplifies its eerie atmosphere. People have seen the floating orbs, especially in the garden, disembodied voices, laughter of ghostly children, and apparitions of soldiers. Paranormal investigators report the electronic voice phenomena, the EVP, and sudden temperature drops. As a historic site, Cahawba offers tours and architectural programs blending history with ghost stories. It is a key part of Alabama's Black Belt folklore. Then in Huntsville, we have the Dead Children's Playground. It's located next to Maple Hill Cemetery, Huntsville's oldest and largest cemetery. This playground was built on a former limestone quarry. Urban legends claim children went missing in the 1960s, though no records confirmed this. The playground was demolished in 2007, but rebuilt due to a community demand. The spirits of children buried in the cemetery are said to play here at night. Swings moving without wind, ghostly laughter, orbs in photos, apparitions of children running, and feelings of being watched. Activity peaks at dusk or midnight. Tales of tragic deaths in the quarry add to the lore. A popular spot for local ghost hunters, it's featured in paranormal blogs and Twitter or X posts at Huntsville Ghosts. Skeptics attribute sightings to imagination, but the legend persists. Then in Carrollton, we have Pickens County Courthouse. In 1876, the original courthouse burned down, and Henry Wells, a black man, was accused of arson. He was lynched by a mob, and Wells reportedly shouted his innocence. A lightning strike allegedly etched his face into a courthouse window during the storm. This has been featured in 13 Alabama ghosts in Jeffrey as the face of a courthouse window. Wells' ghostly face remains visible in the garret window, a symbol of injustice. The face is a permanent fixture, visible from the outside, especially at night. Some report hearing faint cries or feeling sadness near the window. The story highlights racial injustices of the era and is a tourist attraction. The courthouse is still in use and the window is preserved. In Marion, we have the Kenworthy Hall. Built in 1860 by Edward Kenworthy Carlisle, this Italian plantation home was designed by architect Richard Upjohn. Aunt Carlisle, Edward's daughter, is said to have died young, pining for a lover who never returned. It's featured in 13 Alabama Ghosts and Jeffrey, and Anne's ghost haunts the 4th floor tower waiting for her lover. The mansion's isolation adds to its spooky aura. The apparitions of a young woman in white, footsteps in the tower, whispers, and feelings of longing or sadness. Windows in the tower reportedly open on their own. It's a private residence now. It's a prime example of Alabama's plantation-era hauntings tied to unfulfilled love and tragedy. Gaines Ridge Dinner Club in Camden. Built in the 1820s as a plantation home, this building is now a restaurant. It was home to the Hearn family, including Ebenezer Hearn, a Methodist circuit rider. The owner calls the hauntings ghost truth, involving a woman in a white dress floating past windows, and Ebenezer's tall, bearded figure in black. Other family spirits linger tied to the home's long history. There are also reflections in mirrors, footsteps, and objects moving slightly. The woman's ghost is seen most often near dining room windows. The restaurant embraces its haunted reputation, making it a quirky stop for ghost enthusiasts in the Black Belt region. Now we're at Fort Morgan at Gulf Shores. Built in 1834, Fort Morgan played a role in the Civil War's Battle of Mobile Bay and later conflicts. It housed prisoners and saw violent deaths, including a woman beaten to death and a prisoner who hanged himself. The fort is haunted by soldiers, the murdered woman seeking injustice, and the suicidal prisoner. The woman's cries are heard in the barracks, and soldiers' ghosts patrol the grounds. People, when the soldier ghosts patrol the grounds, they see apparitions of soldiers in period uniforms. There are cold spots and feelings of impression, along with disembodied cries. Paranormal tours report EVPs and shadowy figures. A historic site open for tours, it's a hotspot for ghost hunters, especially during Halloween events. Old State Bank in Decatur, opened in 1833. This bank survived the Civil War, serving as a hospital. Washington Keyes, a cashier, and his family lived upstairs. The building's use as a hospital ties to its wartime suffering. The hauntings are two female ghosts dominate. The lady in blue, possibly Keyes' wife, seen in upstairs windows, and the weeping woman, lady in black, mourning her sons who fought on opposing sides of the Civil War. They see apparitions in windows, hear sobbing sounds, and there are cold chills, and doors opening and closing, and lights flickering. The weeping woman's presence is felt near the old vault. This is now a museum. It's a well-preserved piece of Decatur's history with a strong paranormal reputation. We have Skeetos Hole in Newton-Dale County. In 1864, Methodist minister William, also known as Bill Skeeto Sr., was hanged by Confederate vigilance for allegedly deserting. A hole was dug to accommodate his height, but it mysteriously reappears when filled. Featured in 13 Alabama Ghosts and Jeffrey as the hole that will not stay filled. Skeeto's spirit is tied to the hole, symbolizing his wrongful death. The hole reappears despite attempts to fill it, accompanied by feelings of unease or ghostly presences. Some report hearing faint preachings or hymns. A monument marks the site, and the story reflects Civil War era tensions and injustice. We have Rocky Hill Castle in Lawrence County. Built in 1858 by James Edmund Saunders, this mansion was demolished in the 1960s. A French architect, unpaid by Saunders, died in poverty and vowed revenge. The architect's ghost chipped away at the cellar foundation, seeking to destroy the house. Sounds persist even after demolition. They hear ghostly hammering in the cellar. That's the chipping away of the cellar foundation. This was before demolition. Eerie feelings on the former site and occasional reports of spectral tools. This is a lesser-known tale, but it underscores Alabama's plantation-era conflict and is preserved in local oral history. Now we have Abel's Light, the Owl's Hollow, Etowah County. This remote valley is tied to a 19th century farmer named Abel, whose son Henry vanished. Abel searched with a lantern until his death, and the story persists in local lore. Abel's ghost wanders the woods with a lantern, calling Henry. The light is most visible in winter, accompanied by hoofbeats from his horse. The lantern is a dim yellow light moving through trees. They hear hoofbeats and distant calls of Henry, and feelings of sadness. Hunters and hikers report sightings. This is a classic will-o'-the-wisp tale. It reflects rural Alabama storytelling tradition. Bear Creek Swamp in Colbert County. This swamp near the Tennessee River has long been a site of eerie tales, possibly tied to Native American history or early settlers. Urban legends mention a mother who lost her child in the swamp. The haunting, saying "we have your baby" 3 times, allegedly summons an aggressive female spirit. Other tales include phantom cars and large panther-like creatures. There are apparitions of a woman, orbs, and strange animal-like growls and feelings of being chased. This swamp's dense atmosphere amplifies fear. This is popular among local teens for legend tripping. It's a mix of Native American and settler folklore. Old Bryce Hospital in Northport. It was opened in 1861 as the Alabama Insane Hospital. Bryce was notorious for patient mistreatments, overcrowding, and experimental treatments. It closed in the 1990s but remains a paranormal hotspot. Spirits of patients and a cruel doctor are said to linger, reflecting the hospital's grim past. The doctor's ghost is seen in administrative areas. There are hot, cold spots, objects moving, ghostly footsteps, screams, and apparitions of patients in old gowns. EVPs capture moans or pleas. This is a symbol of mental health reform failures. It's a restricted site but draws paranormal investigators. I'm going to end here for now. There is more to tell, and you can hear that on next week's episode of Part 2 of Ghost Stories of Alabama.
Give On the Air with Gloria Hess a call. Have you had an encounter or an afterlife experience? Have you had an odd, spooky experience? Call or text 24/7 520-428-8483. Leave a message to play on the show.
It's July 20th, about 6:10 in the morning, and my EVP meter said, this is your best chance on getting some ghostly stuff going on, and I don't think they may not want to be on camera, or they're just stirring about. Is anyone here? Yep. What message do you have to communicate with us? It's June 22nd. It's 7:12 in the morning. My EVP meter said that this would be the best time to investigate. So I'm investigating. And I'm wondering if they're just saying that, or if the afterlife has gotten a little bashful and didn't want to be on camera. That happens at times. They just want to communicate and not be on camera, and some want to be on camera. Did you wish to say something? Or are you just hanging out? It's Monday, January 23rd at 8:05, and my EVP meter gave me a notification that something was stirring. I was sitting at my computer going through a video to see if I could get a good screenshot off of it, and that's when it was set off. Close. I did my laundry this morning, yes, and I folded and put my clothes away. Shadows. Okay, that explains it. While I was standing at the dryer getting my clothes out, I thought I saw, well, actually I was putting my clothes from the washer to the dryer, and out of the corner of my eye it looked like there was this black being at the door staring in, and when I looked it was gone. So that confirms it was a shadow being, because I asked, is that a shadow being? So thank you for letting me know. Leather. What do you mean by leather? I'm not wearing leather shoes. Are you standing over by my purse? The leather straps? Yes. Touch. Did I walk through you? No, I would have felt a difference. Touch. Are you touching my purse? Is that you touching the back of my neck? No, no one's, just an itch then. I don't know what you mean by touch. You cannot attach to me. Is that what you're referring to? No. Are you touching the table where my purse is? I'm baffled. I don't know what you mean by touch. Late. It's June 30th, just before 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and the Ghost Hunting Tools app came on and said, this is a good time for a ghost hunt. I also have the Spirit Talker app as well as the Ghost Hunting Tools apps on to see what comes across.
I knocked.
You knocked? I might have thought.
Understanding.
I'm glad you're understanding me. Death. Wait, let's go back to here. Smoke, death. So smoke caused your death? And my blood. So you died of asphyxiation? Smoke asphyxiation? I'm sorry, that had to be horrible.
Please be careful here.
I do my best. Thank you for caring. What kind of sign?
Cyanide.
Wow. That had to be horrible. The sign is evidence. I wonder if that's related to the cyanide. They would have found cyanide in the southern, probably not. It probably has to do with where they said my blood, and then cyanide would be found in a blood test.
I've been following you.
You have. Well, now I know. I know they go with me from room to room, and even when I go to the laundry room, they follow me, or even into the lobby, they talk with me down there. They don't go with me grocery shopping. That part I have found out. But there are other spirits where I go who are at the grocery stores that I go to.
Welcome to the adventures of Miss Unicorn.
I was sitting here on the shelf, sleeping, when someone shone a bright light on me and my brother, Sherlock. They wanted to know what I was doing on the night of the 9th. This is Miss Unicorn, signing off, and I told them Sherlock did it.
Join Penelope Loftus and Gloria Hess at the event Bringing the Unknown to the Known. All of us have our own perspective and live our lives differently. This event is to assist in opening your heart to remember the pioneering ways that have been forgotten. Also to open the heart and mind to release the unconscious to a conscious state. True wholeness can then be a part of every being. There will be a blending of the unicorn and swan energies. Penelope Loftus will be speaking on knowledge of self. Gloria Hass will be channeling live messages from both the swan and unicorn energies. Amazing is the new normal, and let's create a reality together. This will be on Sunday, October 5, 2025, for this wonderful 45 to 60-minute event. It starts at 7 a.m. Pacific Time, California, USA. We will meet on Zoom, and this is a live event, and there will be no replay to watch later. So sign up no later than Sunday, September 28th, 2025 for the October 5th event. There is limited availability. There's only 150 seats. To sign up, email dearunicorn14@gmail.com. And if you didn't get that, the email address is in the description.